That is Krishna consciousness. Thank you.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Let's chant one round of Japa with Srila Prabhupada. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Mudirayet Nashtaprayeshva Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatyuttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय श्रीमद् भगवद गीता एज इट इज की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय सामवेद गौर भक्त वृंद की जय वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः Hare Krishna dear devotees welcome to today's session of Srimad Bhagavatam for all. Today is Friday, so we'll recite Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 9, text 29, the last time, and we'll learn a new one on Monday. Anyone needs to go first? So we'll just go in order. Okay. Achintadev Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Yes, Prabhuji, please repeat. Samoham sarva bhuteshu
Samoham sarva bhuteshu
name dveshyosti na priyaha
name dyoso stina priyaha
dveshyosti.
name deosh sti
Okay, so
name priyaha
na priyaha. Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya
ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya
maite teshu chapyaham.
maite teshu chapyaham.
Yes, Prabhu.
Give me a second. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I'm equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Thank you, Master.
Yes, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Arunita.
Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshu stina priyaha ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya
Maite teshu.
mayeteshu chapyaham. Translation. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Mataji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Samoham sarva bhuteshu name deshosti na priya ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Thank you,
Yes,
Mataji.
thank you. Usha Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams, all glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to the assembled devotees.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshostina priyaha e bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. Translation. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Thank you,
Thank you.
Mataji. Meda is also here.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dvaishosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. Translation. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him.
Yes. Narsimha Chaitanya Prabhu. You are in mute, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dvaishosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. Translation. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me is in devotion is a friend and is in me, and I am also a friend to him.
Yes. Okay. Achyut Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranams. Jai
Dandavat
Srila
Pranam
Prabhupada,
Mataji.
Jai Guru Maharaj.
Jai Prabhupada.
Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshosti na priyaha na priyaha ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya he bhajanti tu mam bhaktya na maite teshu chapyaham. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service to me unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me. I'm also a friend to him. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Inba, Inya are here? No. Isha, Krishna, Shish, Madhava, Rasapriya. Rasapriya, go ahead.
Samoham sarvabhutesu
Deshosti na priya.
Bhajanti to mam bhaktya maitesu
Chapyaham.
I am neither nor my parcel to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend. Is in me, and I am also a friend to him.
Yes. Madhava, you want to recite?
Samoham sarvabhutesu na me dvesyosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maitesu sapyaham. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him.
Yes. Lokesh.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Guru Maharaj.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji, Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya mayi te sochapyaham. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you.
Location Prabhu not available.
Not there. Okay, no problem. Priyanka Mataji. No, Kalpesh Prabhu and Sonia Mataji. Sorry. Sonia Mataji, you're able to read?
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Dandavat Pranam Mataji, all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Sammoham sarva bhutesu na me dveshyosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya mayi te suchapyaham. Translation: I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. You memorized it, Mataji?
The verse, Mataji?
Yeah, the translation?
No, Mataji.
Oh, okay. I thought when you were saying, I thought you were saying it without looking.
No, I was just scrolling.
Okay.
My screen is small, so thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Okay.
Krishna.
Prabhuji is going to recite. Kalpesh Prabhu? No.
Oh, let me see.
It's okay. If he's there, he'll join later. No problem. Priyanka Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances.
Please
Jai
accept
Srila
my
Prabhupada.
obeisances, Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada.
Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya maiteteshu chapyaham. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Thank you.
Thank you. So, Pragna and Saujanya Mataji are not here. And so, Prabhuji, Narsimhalila Prabhu, you're going to recite?
Yes, Mataji. Samoham sarvabhuteshu na me dveshyosti na priyaha ye bhajante tu mam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. I envy no one, nor I am partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you. Purti Mataji are there?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Samma sarva bhuteshu name desho तेन प्रियः ये भजन्ति तु मां भक्त्या मयेतेषु चाप्यहम्
मयिते तेषु.
मयितेषु चाप्यहम्. Translation: I envy no one, nor I am partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is my friend. Friend is in me, and I am also a friend to him.
Yes, very good.
Surad and Mataji are not here for. Surad can recite. Mataji.
He finished already. Yeah, thank you. Okay. Okay, so everyone has recited? I think so. Bhagavad Gita 9:29. Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dveshyosti na priyaha ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all. But whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. So just one more point about this verse. When Krishna says, Maite teshu chapyaham, so that means the way he is attached to me, I am also attached to him. So there is a reciprocation, equal reciprocation. When you love Krishna, you're not going to be a loser. Yes? Because in this world, sometimes you love someone and that person may not love you. It happens, right? You love someone very much, but that person either doesn't recognize your love and therefore is unable to reciprocate with you, or sometimes even if that person recognizes your love, that person loves somebody else, so that person is not able to love you the way you love that person. So this happens in friendship, between partners. But when you love Krishna, there is no, it's guaranteed 100%. As much as you love Krishna, that much he will also reciprocate. If you say that Krishna, you are my everything, I love you so much, you are my everything, then Krishna will also say, you are my everything, like that. So it's a completely win-win if you love Krishna. But if you love someone other than Krishna, maybe not, right? So that's another explanation that Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur gives about loving Krishna. When you love Krishna, you're not a loser. You're not a loser. Not just in terms of getting something, but you'll get someone that loves you so much. As you love Krishna, he will also love you like that. Even parents also, right? You love when they're little, that's different. But when they grow up, maybe not, right? You may or may not get that reciprocation. But in when you are in a relationship with Krishna, Krishna is saying, Maite teshu chapyaham. If that person is attached to me completely, I'm also attached to that person completely. So now we will, the verse is still on the screen. So Kalpesh Prabhu and Saujanya Mataji, if you like to read, go ahead, Kalpesh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Please accept my humble obeisances, Prabhuji. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Sarva bhuteshu name dveshyosti na priya ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maite teshu chapya aham. Translation: I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I am equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I am also a friend to him. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Saujanya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada,
Dandavat
all
Pranam.
glories to the assembled devotees.
Yes, Mataji. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Go ahead, Mataji.
Samoham sarva bhuteshu name dvesho stina priya ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. I envy no one, nor am I partial to anyone. I'm equal to all, but whoever renders service unto me in devotion is a friend, is in me, and I'm also a friend to him. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Okay. So we'll read Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 22. Bali Maharaj surrenders his life to Vamandev. So what did Bali Maharaj say? What is the use of this material body? What is the use of this wife? What is the use of the children of my home? Everything is going to leave me. Even this material body, which is so dear to me, that is also going to leave me. So why should I, for the sake of this material body and for the sake of these material assets, property, possession, why should I risk satisfying the Supreme Lord? So, from example, he is the well-wisher of everyone. He is the well-wisher of even the demons. Even those who are inimical to him, he does good to them. We have seen many great demons who are simply inimical to him. They got the result that great mystic yogis get. All they did was they just hated him. And for that, they got the result which great mystics get. He is so merciful. He is merciful to us demons. His chastising us is also his mercy. How? So we see from the example of my own grandfather, Prahlad Maharaj, he is famous amongst the devotees all over the creation. He is very famous. Why? Because in spite of so many tortures, so many difficulties, he never gave up his chastity, his faithfulness to the Supreme Lord. He remained faithful to the Supreme Lord under all circumstances. And he is actually wise, right? Because what is the use of all these temporary things? Out of fear or out of temptation, if I give up the Lord for the sake of these temporary things, are they going to stay with me? No. They will all leave me. When my at the time of death, even this body will leave me, and everything that comes with this body, my family, my community, my country, my wife, my children, my wealth, my name, fame, everything will leave me. I cannot take anything with me. So if anyone is attached to these things, he's simply wasting his energy. That's what we read yesterday. We read the purport also. Yes, we read. So we saw the example from the 5th canto. It is the attraction between male and female which is the basic principle, and that attraction is what is binding us to this material world. Srila Prabhupada gives, I was listening to one lecture today, Srila Prabhupada says, a man, he works so hard, sometimes he even engages in sinful activities. He steals, he cheats. Why? So that he can get money, and with that he wants to make his family happy. He becomes happy when his family, his wife, his children, when they eat. And then whatever is remaining little bit, in the end, he'll just take that. But he's working so hard for the family. This is everyone's story, is it not? Right? He works very, very hard. Sometimes even he engages in sinful activities, illegal activities. But for all the things that he has done, and he's thinking, he's becoming very happy. This is affection, right? When you say the hard knot, we are not just talking about some, sexual attraction. He has affection, he has attachment for them. He thinks these are my people, right? My family, my children, my parents, my wife. He has affection, and out of affection he works so hard, and even he commits sinful activities, and then he doesn't even eat so much, right? He feeds them everything, and whatever little is remaining, in the end he just takes that and he's fine, he's happy with that, and he feels happy. Oh, my people have eaten. This is out of affection. But what is the result of this affection? The result is, for whatever activities he has done, he has to suffer. And when he is suffering in his next life, when he has to suffer for his activities, why in his next life, even in this life also, when he comes to old age, many old men have this experience. All that they have done in their youth for the family, when they become old, they don't even care for him. They don't even care what he has done in his youth, all the struggles he has gone. No, they don't even care. And what to speak of after death? He has to face the reactions. He will be punished for all the activities that he has done, and they don't even want to share the results of, the suffering. They have shared the good times, but when suffering comes, nobody will come forward. We have the example of Ratnakar, who later on became Valmiki Muni. So that's what made him. So Narad Muni faced, he came, he happened to meet Narad Muni, and then he was plundering people, killing them. So Narad Muni asked, why you're doing this? And he said, because this is what I know, something like Mrigari hunter, right? Because this is all I know, and I have to maintain my family. I have my parents, I have my wife, and I have to maintain them. Do you know what sinful reactions you get for all this? Well, it's okay, but I'm doing it for my family. Are they going to share? Now they're sharing good times with you. When you have to suffer for all these reactions, are they going to share? Of course, my family will share with me. They love me so much. He said, why don't you go ask them and come back? I will stay right here. So he goes home and he'll ask his wife, his parents. They say, no, everyone's karma is his own karma. Nobody can share your karma. The reaction for your karma, only you have to suffer. We cannot share that. And why will we share? We don't even want to share. Why? But I'm doing this, I'm giving it to you. That's your responsibility. You're the husband. You are the male member. You have to maintain us. Yes. And now, but when I have to suffer, then yeah, that's your karma. So when he heard that, then it was an eye opener, and he came back to Narad Muni and he said, now I'm ready to surrender. Nobody's going to share my reactions. I have to go to hell alone and I have to suffer. So then Narad Muni gives him the mantra, chant Rama, Rama, Rama. And because he's so much into killing, he was so sinful, he could not chant Rama. So he said, all right, you can only relate to death. So you chant Mara. Mara means dead, right? Mara, 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 Rama, 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 Rama. It happened Rama. And that's how. So the point is, a man commits even sinful activities, but the reactions, he has to suffer, and they won't even come forward to share. But being in illusion, we think that this life is all in all, and we just keep working for this life, even to the extent of committing sinful activities. The main point is, even to the extent of committing sinful activities for the maintenance, for the happiness of the family. That's a very big illusion. So Bali Maharaj is saying here that this is the affection, this family affection is what is binding us to this material world. Out of affection, we can go to any extent. So this is said here in the 5th canto. So in the purport. Yeah, so the tie, the hard knot between the male and female, that is nothing but family tie, family affection. Okay. And also we said that when you take to Krishna consciousness, you will naturally find, because oil and water don't mix together. Like that, those who are non-devotees, they will not be happy with you. They will try to give you a hard time, right? So that's expected. So what is the use of all this? So what should we choose? So when we are in such a difficult situation, like, should I choose Krishna or should I choose my family? Bali Maharaj is saying, I will choose Krishna, right? I don't care for all this. I choose you because you're the well-wisher. Next verse. Who's supposed to read? Does anyone remember? I forgot. I didn't even send yesterday. So I think we started with Inba. Jai Ganesh Prabhu read. Inba and Inya also read. Maybe we start with Lokesh then. Mataji, did you read yesterday? Shamal Gopika Mataji?
I don't think so. For Bhagavatam, I didn't read Mataji.
Didn't read. Okay, so you can start today. Itham sa निश्चित्य पितामहो महान् अगाध बोधो भवतः पादपद्मम् ध्रुवं प्रपेदे ह्यकुतो भयं जनाद् भीतस्वपक्षक्षपणस्य सत्तमा.
My grandfather, the best of all men, who achieved unlimited knowledge and was worshipable for everyone, was afraid of the common men in this world. Being fully convinced of the substantiality afforded by shelter at your lotus feet, he took shelter of your lotus feet against the will of his father and demonic friends who were killed by your own self.
Yeah. My grandfather, Kalpesh Prabhu, you're raising your hand, Prabhuji.
Yeah, Mataji, something came in my head, a question. So it is okay if you want to take it later on. That's
Okay. Yeah. My grandfather, the best of all men. So Bali Maharaj is talking about Prahlad Maharaj, who achieved unlimited knowledge and was worshipable for everyone, was afraid of the common men in this world. So who is Prahlad Maharaj? He is worshipable for everyone. He achieved unlimited knowledge, but he was afraid of the common men in this world. Being fully convinced of the substantiality afforded by shelter at your lotus feet, he took shelter of your lotus feet against the will of his father and demoniac friends who were killed by your own self. So this we discussed yesterday, that even if there is opposition, we should always choose Krishna. That's the point. But Prahlad Maharaj also set an example for that, and even Bali Maharaj did. Prahlad Maharaj was just a small boy, 5-year-old boy. His father didn't want him to become a devotee. And you can imagine, how difficult it must be. And his father was a demon, not just an ordinary demon. He had conquered the whole universe practically. What a fearful condition it must be for an ordinary person to do something against. It is said that if Hiranyakashipu raised his one eyebrow, all the demigods would tremble in fear. That was his position. But Prahlad Maharaj was fearless. So this being fearless is actually a sign of a pure devotee. A pure devotee does not experience any fear because he is completely surrendered to Krishna. So anyone who surrendered, this is the conclusion of the scripture. Anyone who surrendered to the Lord becomes fearless. One who is not surrendered to the Lord is fearful. So that's another test for us to know if I have Shraddha yet, right? If I have Shraddha, that means I will not have fear. Because a symptom of Purna Shraddha is surrender. And one who is surrendered, this is the conclusion of scripture, one who is surrendered becomes fearless. He won't fear anything. He won't fear death. He won't fear anything in this life. So Prahlad Maharaj was fearless, where everyone else in the whole universe was fearful of Hiranyakashipu, but he was fearless. And Hiranyakashipu became completely shaken by this? How is it that he's just a 5-year-old boy, he's my son, and he's not afraid of me? On whose strength is he so fearless? He actually became depressed, Hiranyakashipu. So Prahlad Maharaj chose, in spite of all difficulties, in spite of, you can even have the emotional blackmail, isn't it? Oh, my mother, my father, they are saying, so if I don't do, it won't look good. Rasapriya is asking, what about Brahmanas? Were they also fearful? Everyone was fearful. They were all fearful. Or they were being tortured. They were being tortured. Yeah. Brahmana does not necessarily mean he's a pure devotee, right? We've been discussing this in the past few days. Pure devotee is the highest level. So we are talking about someone who enters into pure devotional service. The symptom is Shraddha. Shraddha means surrender. Surrender means he becomes fearless. So he chose. So Bali Maharaj is saying, therefore I am choosing you. Even if you punish me, you send me to hell, whatever. Even if my family, my guru, my subordinates, they are all upset with me, they are going to give up on me, no problem. I will choose you. Why am I doing this? Because I have seen that being fully convinced of the substantiality afforded by the shelter of your lotus feet. That's the only thing that we can depend on. Nothing else is dependable. Nothing else is dependable. The only dependable shelter we have is the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord. This is Shraddha. Shraddha means being convinced of this fact. You're completely convinced, and that conviction shows in your actions also. It's not just a mental conviction. Many times it happens. We say that I'm convinced, I have Shraddha, but then when some difficulty comes, immediately we jump to the other side, right? That means we didn't have Shraddha. We are just saying that I have Shraddha. That conviction has to be shown in action. So in Prahlad Maharaj's case, he was completely convinced. It was visible. So Bali Maharaj, seeing Prahlad Maharaj, he also got that, right? So he's saying, Prahlad Maharaj, being fully convinced of the substantiality afforded by the shelter of your lotus feet, he took shelter of your lotus feet, even against the will of his father, his friends, right? And his father was killed by you. अथाहमप्यात्मरिपोस्तवान्तिकं दैवेन नीतः प्रसभं त्याजितश्री इदं कृतान्तान्तिकवर्ति जीवितं यया ध्रुवं स्तब्धमतिर्न बुध्यते. Okay, so after Mataji, is Lokesh there, Mataji, or should I go to the next person?
No, Mataji, you can wait on this.
Okay, so next. Who's next? Kalpesh Prabhu and Sonia Mataji. You can ask your question. You said you had a question.
Okay, Hare Krishna. We were discussing about the family stuff, and I think so. What sometimes I get confused, between the civilization. We were supposed to be the Aryan civilization because that is what the idea is, and it was all centered around the liberation. And if we look at the society, and if we organize the society, there is a varnashram system, and one of the major population would be grihastha ashram. People would be more, because not everybody would be going to sannyas. So when we look at those things, and when we live in a family life, and looking into the Bali Maharaj point here, like choosing Krishna and versus family, I thought the idea was always to live us lives centered with Krishna. If that is the case with family, can we just see it that way also, or is there a meaning of any civilization in the society? Do society has to get civilized in certain way from the scripture point of view? If I'm not able to clear my question, I'm just trying to say best I can, in the words, So how do we present this to people when people may not want to see that, because from childhood we have been told that we have to maintain our families, we have to have a responsibilities towards them, and a happy family is a happy life kind of thing at the same time. But at the same time, I agree that none of the families education is that we have to be centered around the god right now in this, but the Aryan civilization was always meant to focus that liberation is goal. Or maybe now we are not even talking about the liberation. If we are trying to talk about the pure devotion, then we are talking about this service to Krishna, right? How do we say to people, like or even convince, because we have been impressions for our children's family, relatives, mother, father, grandfather, whoever it may be. So
Yeah, it's the same thing. I mean, the answers are there in Bhagavad Gita. The way Krishna begins, it's exactly the same thing that Arjun had also, right? My family, my grandfather, you have affection, and this is sinful to kill them. All that is coming from what? From Varnashram system only, isn't it? We have a family situation. The elders have to be respected. Juniors cannot even verbally offer a fight to superiors. What to speak of killing them? This is sinful. All this is good, but there is a higher principle. So, how does Krishna begin the instruction? Krishna starts by saying that you are not this body, you are a spirit soul. So when you are in a family situation, if all I'm being taught is this is your father, this is your mother, this is your grandfather, this is your community, this is your uncles, brothers, sisters, you should feed the poor and this and that, it looks nice. Share your wealth with others and all, it looks nice and you think, yeah, it's happy. But what we don't discuss about is what is going to happen after death. And death is sure to happen. However happily, nicely you live, still death is happening, either to you or to your dear ones. How are you going to cope with that? What answers can you give when a young boy dies all of a sudden? What are you going to answer to the mother? Or, what you'll say, oh, it is just his fate. Is okay, you can say it is just his fate and you just try to, but is that all? So the point is, like small children, right? Sometimes you keep them in illusion, and you just tell them some fairy tale stories. That's okay. And you think, oh, the child is happy with fairy tale stories, so it's okay. So similarly, we will also hide the truth, the reality that death is coming, and after death, you'll have to go to hell and this and that. And repeated the pains of repeated birth and death, you just hide all that and you just try to give a nice picture, right? This life is a happy life, you live like this and you live happily. It seems good, but this is like a fairy tale. But fairy tales are not real. The reality is you have to die and you have to take birth. However nice you may try to present birth to the whole world, oh, a new baby is born, do you know all the pain that baby had to go through before coming out to this world? For 9 months, that baby is tied up in a bag. How much misery that baby had to undergo. If we don't awaken this person to the reality, he's going to go back into the same situation, same suffering. So, how are you going to convince people? We don't have a separate formula. We just say what Krishna says. Krishna's formula is the best formula. And we simply repeat. We are like postmen. And what magic Krishna does on the other person, that is between him and them. We simply act as his messengers. We will repeat what Krishna said in a sensitive way. That much we can do, right? Instead of going and beating the other person with the philosophy, regardless of what effect it is having on them, we try to present the philosophy in a sense being sensible, in a being sensitive to the other person, But at the same time, you have to tell the truth. When there is an infection, the doctor cannot say, oh, you're feeling pain, okay, I won't do anything about it. Because if you don't do anything about it, the disease is going to go deeper and it's going to only cause more pain in the future. So even if it hurts at that time, still the doctor uses a scalpel to cut off that infection. At that moment, the patient screams and cries because it's painful, but he will be grateful that you did that, because now that infection is removed, it will heal soon. So you have to use your discrimination at that time. You have to use your judgment to see what type of treatment has to be given, seeing the ultimate benefit of the person. Seeing the ultimate benefit of the person, even if it is going to be painful at this time, if you are foreseeing that eventually this is benefiting that person, it's okay. But if you're seeing my preaching is only making this person more and more inimical to Krishna consciousness, then stop there. Don't give any more of that instruction. But family life is all in all, that type of preaching, Narad Muni condemned it when he met Vyasdev, because Vyasdev, all he said was about doing pious activities and this and that, right? In the Karma Kanda section, that is all he said. You worship the demigod, you do this vrata and you do this yagya, and then everything is nice. You can also eat meat, you offer it to the goddess, and then you eat. There's no talk about what is the goal of life, what pure devotional service. You didn't talk about it. What is this? He said, he condemned it. Jugupsitam. Jugupsitam means, he said, shame on you. People are looking up to you for, you are the authority, and you are giving them such mediocre, knowledge. You should give them the ultimate. What have you done? People already have this tendency to enjoy in this world, and now you put on tilak and everything, and you go and say, yes, 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 you can. Now you have a different role. Now you have become a servant of the Lord. You have to tell the truth. You cannot be just a family member and say, yes, yes, you live your family nicely and everything is good. We cannot say that. We are doctors. Doctors have to go and cut the infection. They won't like it, Prabhuji. They won't like it. Nobody will like it. But we have to do it. And immediately, certainly they'll feel bad. They'll be taken aback. But when difficult times come, that will immediately remind them. So it's like doing a thankless task. We have to tell the truth. We have to tell the truth. But we see from the examples of Bali Maharaj, Prahlad Maharaj, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, they are never disrespectful. That we have to learn. When we are presenting the truth, we are not disrespectful when we are presenting the truth. For that, we have to have control on our senses, on our temper. We cannot act out of, losing our temper and acting like that. Then it won't have that effect. But you have to tell the truth. Time and again we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's, we are seeing in Chaitanya Charitamrita. You tell the truth, but at the same time you're very respectful. But you tell the truth. So yeah, yes, simply having a nice family and all that, you still have to face death, and death is not the end. After death, you have to go and suffer also. So then, what about Krishna conscious family? Usually devotees have this question, but what about us? We are devotees. Our relationship, that is also said yesterday or day before yesterday. Once you take shelter of Krishna, what does the devotee do? Nothing is mine. My wife is not mine. My children are not mine. This house is not mine. Sakalam Narayanaya Samarpayati. I am offering everything to Lord Narayan. My wife is his, my children are his, my home is his. That means now I am not trying to enjoy them anymore. I am trying to serve. And if he takes them away, no doubt I'll feel pain because I'll be feeling separation, but I will accept it because it's not mine anyway. You understand? Let's say your friend is going somewhere and leaves his some valuable thing with you, right? What can we say? Something he leaves, and then let's say deities generally, right? They give deities to friends because when they are traveling long distance, they say, "Can you please worship my Laddu Gopal, or can you please worship my Gaur Nitai when you go?" And then they are on your altar, and they've gone for a long time, you're worshipping every day, you get attached to them. But when they come back, and they're going to take the deities back, you will certainly feel, oh, you got attached to them, but at the same time, you have to let them go. They're not yours, right? So similarly, when you say, my family is yours, Krishna, I'm serving them. When you serve someone, it is natural to feel affection, to get that attachment. It's natural. We are not stones. But when it is taken away, we accept it. The understanding it was not mine in the first place. So that is there. So that much we do, or we make an endeavor in that way, that this is not mine. Then this type of committing sinful activities, all that will not come. We should not do sinful activities, because again, that is Krishna's instruction. If you are saying everything is Krishna's, why I will go against Krishna's instruction? I'm taking care of this family for Krishna, and if Krishna is saying don't do, why I will go against Krishna's instruction? So like that. Okay, Prabhuji.
Okay, Hare.
Hare Krishna. All right. So let's go back. So did you read already? You didn't read translation. Kalpesh Prabhu.
Only by providence have I been forcibly brought under your lotus feet and deprived of all my opulence. Because of the illusion created by temporary opulence, people in general who live under material conditions, facing accidental death at every moment, and that this life is temporary. Only by providence have I been saved from that condition.
Thank you. Only by providence have I been forcibly brought under your lotus feet and deprived of all my opulence. Providence, right? This is destined. I was supposed to become like this. This is by the arrangement of higher powers that I've been forced to surrender to you, right? Because of the illusion created by temporary opulence, people in general who live under material conditions, facing accidental death at every moment, do not understand that this life is temporary. This is the thing. If we give the picture that everything is fine, then when they face accidental death, when they see how life is temporary, they are shocked. They don't know how to deal with that shock. Whereas in Krishna consciousness, when we start studying Bhagavad Gita, right from day one, we are taught death is certain. Everyone has to die. Even little children are taught this. Whereas in our families, as soon as you talk about death, immediately they will say, no, 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 don't talk about such things. You shouldn't talk about death. Isn't it? They'll say, no, 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 don't talk about it. They don't like. Whereas we talk about death all the time. This is a fact of life. It's a fact. So, Bali Maharaj is saying, because of the illusion created by temporary opulence. What type of opulence? Either wealth or position or relationships, like that, different types of opulence. You are like intoxicated. When we are intoxicated, we don't realize, right? Even if you are in a lot of problems, that's why people get intoxicated, to forget their problems. They get intoxicated. So this wealth and opulence is also like intoxication, to forget the reality that death is coming. But is intoxication actually a solution to your problem? Have you actually overcome the problem by taking intoxication? No, it just makes you forget for the time being. The problem is still there. The problem is still there. So similarly, having material opulence and in that intoxication, thinking that I'm enjoying life and everything is wonderful, I'm the happiest person on earth, you still have to face death and you don't know when it is coming. Are you prepared for that? That is the final exam. This is something that many people, most of us can relate to, right? The final exam. Some people, those who are smart, they try to study every day a little bit, keep in touch with the subject, so that when the final exam comes, they have the nerve to go and face the exam. Whereas others, they are afraid of the exam and to forget to overcome that fear, they go watch a movie and do this and that. But they still have to go and face the exam. Either they will fail or they'll just skip, right? I will take it next year. We don't have that option. Nobody can escape death. You have to face death. So a smart person is he who will actually prepare for death. A foolish person will try to put it off or will pretend that it is not there. Another example is ostrich. When ostrich is seeing that the enemy is coming, out of fear, it will dig its head inside the sand. Ostriches are found in deserts, right? So it digs its head inside the sand and it's thinking, oh, now I'm safe because I don't see or hear anything. And it is thinking, now I'm safe. Is it actually safe? It's not safe. Like small children, when they see some fearful thing, or they just close their eyes and they think, because I'm closing eyes, I'm not seeing anything, so I'm safe. So, like that, this is childishness to think that because surrounding myself with nice, comfortable, happy situation, material situation, thinking that now everything is happy. And they lived happily ever after. Doesn't happen in these material bodies that you will live happily ever after. Everyone has to die. So that's what Bali Maharaj is saying in this translation, that only by providence, and this is actually good, that everything has been taken away. Reality is being shown to me. It's good. Bali Maharaj is saying, because of illusion, people living under material conditions, when they face such difficult situations, they are shocked. Because why they are shocked? They are not able to deal with that trauma because they didn't understand the temporary nature of life. But I have been saved from that difficult situation by providence. By providence means ultimately where is providence coming? By the arrangement of the Supreme Lord. Purport. Lokesh, you are ready to read? First paragraph you can read.
Yes, Mataji. Bali Maharaj appreciated the actions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although all members of the demonic families except Prahlad Maharaj and Bali Maharaj considered Vishnu their eternal traditional enemy, as described by Bali Maharaj. Lord Vishnu is not the enemy of the family, but the best friend of the family. The principle of this friendship has been stated. Yasyatam
Yasyaham anugrihnami harishe tadhanam shanai.
the Lord bestows special favor upon his devotees by taking away all the material opulence. Bali Maharaj appreciated this behavior by the Lord. Therefore, the Lord said,
Daivena nitaha prasabham tyajita shrihi.
it is to bring me to the right platform of eternal life that you have put me into these circumstances.
Yes. So Bali Maharaj being a devotee, him and even Prahlad Maharaj, they realized this. When they were put into difficult situations, they didn't complain. They didn't complain. Because they understood that Lord Vishnu is not the enemy of the family. Rather, Lord Vishnu is the best friend of their family. Whatever he is doing is out of his causeless mercy. So, what is friendship? When Krishna shows, when he becomes especially when he favors a person, right? When he becomes especially, um, you know, what's the word? He wants to bestow special favor upon a person, right? Not ordinarily, but exceptionally. He has some special compassion on someone. He wants to show some special favor on someone. How does he show it? He takes everything, all material opulences away from that person. He doesn't do this to all devotees. Exceptional devotees, he will do that. And the result of that is what? That person completely surrenders to Krishna. Why he doesn't do it to everyone? Because everyone won't surrender. Right? People start complaining and this and that because they're not qualified for that. But those special devotees, when everything is taken away from them, they just surrender to Krishna. Right? And that really brings them to higher levels of bhakti. So Bali Maharaj appreciated the Lord's behavior of taking everything from him. He appreciated. Srila Prabhupada also appreciated. Right? One thing after another, when he was facing obstacles on his path, he was only trying to do devotional service. Still, there were so many obstacles, and he just laughed at every step. And he said, he would recite this verse. This is in the case of the Pandavas, Yudhishthir Maharaj, he says that Krishna takes everything away when he shows special mercy, like that. So Bali Maharaj is able to recognize that. So he's appreciating it. Whatever the Lord is doing to us, it's good. But the other members of the family, Bali Maharaj's family, Prahlad Maharaj's family in the dynasty, they were all demons. They all considered Lord Vishnu to be their enemy. Next paragraph. Sonia Mataji.
Actually, everyone should fear the so-called society, friendship, and love for which he works so hard all day and night, as indicated by Bali Maharaja by the words
Janad Bhita.
Janad Bhita. Every devotee in Krishna consciousness should always be afraid of the common man engaged in pursuing material prosperity. Such a person is described as Pramatta, a madman, chasing the will of the wisp. Such men do not know that after a hard struggle for life, one must change his body with no certainty of what kind of body he will receive next. Those who are completely established in Krishna conscious philosophy and who therefore understand the aim of life will never take to the activities of materialistic dog race. But if a sincere devotee somehow does fall down, the Lord corrects him and saves him from gliding down to the darkest region of the hellish life. Should I continue?
No, Mataji. That's good. So everyone should fear the so-called society, friendship, and love. Right? So same thing. Society, friendship, love, family, same thing. You should fear that. That means whatever people are telling us about how everything is nice here in this world, people who believe in that, you should fear such people. Right? Bali Maharaj is saying that my grandfather Prahlad Maharaj, he was respected. He had so much knowledge. But what was his mentality? He was afraid of the common man. So Srila Prabhupada is saying every devotee in Krishna consciousness should always be afraid of the common man. Common man means who is engaged in pursuing material prosperity. He believes that by material prosperity I can become happy. And then he's going in this dog race or rat race of trying to make more money, become more successful, and this and that, right? Increase my family, buy more property, and in this way that anyone who is thinking that in this world I'll become happy and he's endeavoring in that direction, you should be afraid of such people if you are a Krishna conscious devotee. Because such men do not know that after a hard struggle for life, one must still change his body with no certainty of what kind of body he will receive next. Everyone has the same amount of time in this life. And everyone has a limited strength, limited capacity, limited energy. The difference is where each person is choosing to spend his energy, his money, his time. So someone who is, as it is said, a common man, he will choose to spend his time, his life, his energy in material prosperity, increasing his material, empire, growing his material empire. Why he is doing that? Because he is thinking this will make me happy. Whereas a devotee, he will try to increase his spiritual assets. He will try to increase his spiritual assets. As far as possible, we should be doing direct devotional service. And materially, Bhagavatam says again and again, minimum, whatever it is needed to keep the body and soul together, basic. Now you decide, what do we need to keep the body and soul together? That means you should do that much with which the soul can remain in this body. Because if I don't do that much, the soul cannot even stay in this body, it will die. So that is the standard set by Bhagavatam. So nobody can say, like the basic minimum has been set by Bhagavatam. Everyone will fall above that line only. That means everyone always has a scope, a chance to simplify our lifestyle as much as possible. It is all about Shraddha. We have kings, we have prime ministers, presidents, like rulers of planets who are great devotees. It's not about what you have, it's about where your Shraddha is in. If your Shraddha is in material prosperity, that's what you'll be working for. If your Shraddha is in Bhakti, in spite of having everything, you will only be always focusing on Bhakti. And whatever else you do will only be to set an example to the world. People may or may not see what is in your heart, but Krishna sees, your Guru will see. But the point here being made is your faith should not be in material prosperity. Your faith should not be in family happiness. Your faith should be in devotional service to Krishna, wherever you may be, whatever position you may be in this world. Then now you may have that position. Tomorrow, when that position is taken away, it doesn't make any difference to you. Why? Because you never had faith in that position anyway, in that wealth, in that relationship. You didn't have any faith. Your faith was only in Krishna. That's what is important. When we get that faith, then we are in pure devotional service. It doesn't matter where you are. And it will show in action. It's not just a mental thought. 24 hours you will be always engaged in Krishna consciousness. 24 hours, even at night. Okay, so getting back to, we'll just finish this purport. It's already past 8 o'clock. I'll just read the last part. So, those who are completely established in Krishna conscious philosophy and who therefore understand the aim of life will never take to the activities of the materialistic dog race. But if a sincere now, like we read yesterday in Samoham Sarvabhuteshu, right? Krishna says, Samoham, I'm equal to everyone, but ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya, right? Anyone who is rendering service unto me in devotion, he is in me, I am in him, means I'm taking special care of him. That means somebody who is rendering devotional service to Krishna, even if he falls down, he's not lost. He's not like a riven cloud. Krishna will carry him, like the mother who makes the baby cross over that threshold. If a sincere devotee, somehow, we don't know, somehow, like you say here, Bali Maharaj, right? If a sincere devotee somehow falls down, the Lord corrects him, saves him from gliding down to the darkest region of hellish life. That's why we should always focus on being a devotee. And then whatever comes or goes, it does not matter, because the Lord will take care of it. It may come in the form of punishment, it may come in any form, but we are saved because we are in the shelter of the Lord. When we take shelter of the Lord, it does not mean all nice things only should happen, everything will be happy. Not necessary. Again, he's like a doctor. He will give us whatever treatment we need. Like in the case of Bali Maharaj, he tied him up and he's sending him down. But Bali Maharaj is a devotee. He recognized, this is my Lord. Whatever he does is for my good. Whatever he does is for my good. No problem. And to such a devotee, is the Lord going to just let him, be perished? No. He will take. We have that assurance from Krishna. If a sincere devotee somehow, forget it how, but somehow if he falls down, the Lord corrects him, saves him from gliding down to the darkest region of hellish life. Adanta gobir vishatam tamisram punah punah charvita charvananam. Srimad Bhagavatam 7:530. The materialistic way of life is nothing but the repeated chewing of that which has already been chewed. Although there is no profit in such a life, people are enamored of it because of uncontrolled senses. Nunam pramattah kurute vikarma. Because of uncontrolled senses, people fully engage in sinful activities by which they get a body full of suffering. Ali Maharaj appreciated how the Lord had saved him from such a bewildered life of ignorance. He therefore said that his intelligence had been stunned, right? Before this, my intelligence was dull, it was stunned. Stabdha matirna buddhyate. He could not understand how the Supreme Personality of Godhead favors his devotees by forcibly stopping their materialistic activities. How great is Bali Maharaj, and also how fortunate he is that even in the face of such difficult situation, he is able to see the hand of the Lord, how the Lord is actually saving him and protecting him. This is the benefit of sincerely practicing Krishna consciousness. When everything is fine, let us be serious in Krishna consciousness. Whatever has been told to us by our Acharya, let's practice that sincerely, because certainly difficulties will come. Such situations will come. But the test will be, if you have practiced Krishna consciousness nicely now, then during the time of test, you will pass, you will come out with flying colors. What is that? Coming out of flying colors means what? Your faith in Krishna will not be shaken. Rather, you will come out of it with deeper faith in Krishna. You will come out with more dependence, more confidence in Krishna. You'll come out of that situation. But if you are not faithful now, if you're not sincere in practicing Krishna consciousness now, when the difficulty will come, you'll be filtered out. You'll just fall away. You'll be broken, right? You'll fail in the test. So Bali Maharaj has passed. The thing that happened to him, it didn't happen to any of us. But even in that situation, he's saying, I'm very grateful to you. Brahmaji says, right? Tattenukampa susamikshamana, right? That devotee who, even when he's going through such difficulties, if he's able to bow down in front of Krishna with gratitude, my Lord, I'm suffering because of my own past sinful reactions, but out of your kindness, you have minimized my suffering. You're so great. When he bows down in front of Krishna, even in difficult times, such a person, for him, going back to Godhead is his rightful claim. So that we are seeing in Bali Maharaj. Again, we will. I can read Bhagavad Gita because we didn't read yesterday, and today is Friday. We won't be meeting again for 2 more days. So I'll just read Bhagavad Gita and Lilamrita. I know if you have to leave, it's okay. I'll just quickly read. So we will do text 12 next on Monday, and we will begin with Usha Mataji and Medha. Yes, Usha Mataji and Medha. And now I'll read Bhagavad Gita. Srimad Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 18, text 43. I'll just read it. Shauryam, okay, you can repeat. Shauryam tejo dhritirdakshyam yuddhe chapyapalayanam danam ishvara bhavascha kshatram karma swabhavajam. Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, and leadership are the natural qualities of work for the Kshatriyas. So we are reading about the different types of people in the modes of material nature. So we saw those in the mode of goodness are the Brahmanas. We saw what the qualities of Brahmanas are, right? Shamo damah tapas shaucham shantir arjavam evacha jnanam vijnanam astikyam. These are the qualities of Brahmanas. Brahmanas are in the mode of goodness. This is the quality of Kshatriyas. Kshatriyas are purely in the mode of passion. Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, and leadership. Right? So if you want the Sanskrit, Shauryam, Tejo, Tejaha, Dhriti, Daksham, Yuddhe Chapyapalayanam, Danam, Ishvara Bhavascha, Kshatram, Karma Swabhavajam. So these are the qualities of a Kshatriya. Then we'll read a little bit of Srila Prabhupada's Leelamrita before we end the session today. Srila Prabhupada Leelamrita. So Srila Prabhupada changed his room to Radha Damodar temple. Remember, that's what we read the other day. And now he's able to see the Samadhi of Rupa Goswami, like that. He's right there, and there he's translating his Bhagavatam. At 1 a.m., when no one else was up and it was very quiet, Bhaktivedanta Swami would wake up and begin writing. Since electric failures were not uncommon in Vrindavan, he would often work by lantern light. But in any case, a beam of light would shine out from his room onto the veranda, while inside the room he worked under its brightness. While he wrote in stillness, sometimes a toad as dry as the stone floor would hop out of hiding and across the floor, exiting through the cement lattice work of the opposite wall. Sometimes a tiny mouse would run out from behind a window shutter and hide in another place. Otherwise, the room was complete sanctified stillness, and the inspiration of being in the presence of the 6 Goswamis was strong. Above the open courtyard, the sky would be full of clearly visible stars. As he worked, the only sounds would come from the town, perhaps of a dog barking in the distance. At 4 a.m., the temple pujari, who slept under a shelter near the deity doors, would awake, turn on an electric light, and with a long pole clear the bats from the rafters. At 5 a.m., after waking the deities, the pujari would open the doors before the altar and begin Mangalarati. He would offer a flame while a few resident devotees gathered and chanted, playing instruments. Usually, someone would bang a gong while someone else rang a large bell. I'll stop there. We'll continue on Monday. Hare Krishna, dear devotees. All of you have a wonderful day in Krishna consciousness. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.